Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got a game between MVP's Keen and TSL's Polt. Polt is the blue Terran player in the top left and Keen is the red Terran player in the bottom right. Both are Terran players, so obviously this is a TvT, and it's the GSL version of Antigua Shipyard, which means supply depot here and no gold base. So this should be an awesome game. It is from the MSI Pro Cup number 8. And this is, I do believe, a semi-final match. So it is a best of 3, and this is game 1. So you haven't missed anything if you're only just tuning in. You are right at the start. Look forward to it, enjoy it, watch the entire series, and find out which of these amazing players is going to be going forward to the final. So we will see here that Polt is going pretty standard, going for a wall off. So is Keen. So this is all pretty damn straight up. No one's going to do anything too funky because that would be crazy, wouldn't it? And nobody likes crazy stuff. Anyway, just continuing this game. I mean, obviously Antigua Shipyard's a good map. They are cross positions. This wall off can't really. It's quite difficult to defend this area just because it's huge. But having said that, this third base not too much harder to defend than the natural because you do have this little bit here. So you've got 2 chokes. Only difficult thing is this kind of rock area at the back is a second entrance to your third base. Also, as a Terran player, you can float over here. Just kind of float over, take a little sneaky base there, which you might not scout, and it's just lots can go on. Both players have got their gas down now. Polt is slightly earlier, so it will be interesting to see what he does with that. And I mean, just to give you a bit of background, I'm going to be casting most of the MSI Pro Cup games. Probably everything, all of the semi-finals and the final obviously, and I'm going to try and do quite a few of the quarter-finals, maybe some of the round of 16. Obviously this is set up, I believe the MSI Cup is set up by Millennium, and it's pretty cool. I like it. I've got the replays from SC2, drop.sc, obviously lots of good replays there, was the pack of replays up on there. Yeah, so this should be awesome. Neither player is doing anything too crazy as of yet. Obviously crazy stuff is brilliant. We will see this factory come down very early right at the back, but Keen is going to get in and scout it, so not going to be hidden at all. Going to know exactly what is happening here and just going round it just to make sure, is this definitely, yep, it is a factory, I am sure of it. And it's now like, oh crap, I'm being chased, I'm just going to run away. So the Marine is going to get that. It does temporarily block the supply depot though. That's just awkward and irritating. And the SCV gets away with his life. Most lucky SCV ever. Meanwhile, we will see that Keen is also getting his factory down. So both players doing pretty much the same thing. And I mean, if it works, don't alter. Both players getting their second gas down. So this is going to be probably quite a one base play from both players early on. And that means that we're probably not, well, we may get into a kind of super long game. I haven't watched this before, so this is going to be like a surprise for me as well. So I always like it when I don't know what's going to happen. I get too overexcited and I start speaking really quickly and getting higher and higher pitched and faster. So hopefully you will be able to keep up, and it's just a case of I have to make sure I get the camera to see absolutely everything, which can be a bit of a pain when 3 things are happening all at once. Now we are going to see a tech lab and a starport, so we're probably going to see Banshees out here and exactly the same thing being done by Keen. And there you go, transfer goes across. Polt's Banshee is going to come out fractionally sooner. Doesn't really matter though, but it will come out sooner, which is always good to know. These Marines just kind of poking and prodding around, and we are getting Cloak as well, so Cloak Banshees from Polt. And here goes that factory, sorry about that there, got something caught in my throat. This starport is going to move over, and this factory is going to do not very much at the moment. Neither is the factory though for Polt, and are we going to see Cloak Banshees out of Keen as well? That would be a big tell. We have got Banshee on the way for Keen straight away, so not too far behind, but no sign of Cloak as of yet. And obviously with only 1 command center, which is purely building a lot. Having said that, a second command center actually on the way down now for Keen. No sign of a second command center for Polt as of yet. So obviously if he gets away with that and doesn't die, that'll put him in a good spot later on. Polt is getting that reactor on his factory. A tech lab though for Keen, so tanks are going to be coming out. Both players getting that Banshee super quickly. I believe on this version of the map you can only spawn cross positions. A great scan goes off by Keen there to know exactly what is going on. We'll see that that tech lab is researching something on the starport, so we'll probably suspect it. And there goes the Raven for the detection. The command center on its way down now for Polt as well, just switching across that factory and barracks. And meanwhile we will just see the first tank coming out now for Keen. Keen's expansion is a lot ahead of Polt's by roughly about kind of half the build time. Not quite half the build time, probably about 20 seconds-ish. Roughly, give or take a bit. Excuse me if it was more than 20 seconds. And here comes the Banshee for Keen. How much damage can it do? No Raven out as of yet. One SCV goes down, two SCV goes down, three SCVs go down straight away. Meanwhile, we will see that Polt's Banshee is on its way over. That must be the second. Yeah, so there's two out. Where is it? I just don't know. Ah, here we go. So that SCV was killed off, delaying Keen's command center from being built. Those Marines are moving forward, and here comes the Raven. So the Banshee will now get spotted and could very well go down if he doesn't play this very, very carefully. And 2 HP, and it does finally go down. Meanwhile, if we take a look up here, I believe Keen's went down as well through all of that. Yep, it did. So really just the one Banshee here, which will eventually die to the Marines, but just kiting them amazingly doing as much as possible. One Viking does come out though. Obviously air superiority has a massive input to a TvT game, along with the tank positioning and where they siege up. But both players are now getting their expansions down, and Keen's has finished just at the point of Polt's orbital command getting morphed in. And having said that though, Polt is looking in a good spot. He doesn't have siege mode, hasn't even started its siege mode, is on its way though for Keen. It's about half done, and he has got 2 tanks as well. If you take a look at the army counting, it's 2 tanks apiece, 14 Marines for Polt to 9 of Keen, 1 Raven though, and 1 Banshee to 2 Vikings. So this is pretty even at the moment. And the work count, so I forgot to check that out, it's 29 to 27, so both players fairly even. And there goes Keen with his Viking, Polt with his Banshee just kind of floating around. Obviously no detection for that Viking, so not going to be able to do much there. Having said that though, we could see an engagement. The tanks are sieging up, so I'd be very, very surprised if Polt does go for this, just purely because obviously with those tanks there, they're going to do a lot of damage. The Banshee goes in first, won't be able to pick anything off though, does take a hit from the Viking, and obviously the Raven there giving a lot of detection. Doesn't quite have enough energy for that point defense drone quite yet. And behind all this, I mean, both players have their expansions up, and really nothing too major going on. If we take a look up here, just this Viking landing actually. So a good use of landing the Viking to harass the mineral line. Very, very effective, but it's going to lift up, and it's 6 workers killed apiece. This is an incredibly close game. Both players went for very, very similar builds. That Banshee for Keen is going to pick off a few Marines. The Viking does get yet another hit off on that Banshee. Obviously every free hit is huge, and still this Viking is just doing a lot of damage, and it's 1 Marine against 1 Viking. The Viking will win very, very easily, and even some SCVs being pulled now to try and take it down, and just lifting that Viking to get away. The Marine won't actually quite be able to take it down, but it will stop the harassment. And meanwhile Polt is just moving forward. He has cloaked that Banshee. Where is the Raven? The Raven is going to be essential here. I don't even know, it's off to the left, it's miles away, so quite a few things could go down. If that tank falls, that would be a very, very big win for Polt, and Keen would have some problems. Although having said that, Polt just moving backwards. If we take a look at the worker count, 6 more workers for Keen than Polt at the moment. And my oh my, this game is super close. 2 more barracks coming out now for Polt. And where is this engineering bay for Keen? Let's have a look around. Can I find it? There we go, so an engineering base, stim on the way for Polt as well. And having said that though, here comes Keen. He has got that supply advantage, but obviously defenders rule. But having said that, Polt only just starting his siege mode. If Keen just goes for this now, he would have a big advantage just because of having siege. Although Polt has stim a long way ahead, although combat shield is on its way now for Keen at the same time as stim. Upgrades coming out for Polt, +1 weapons. And a good scan goes off, and Keen looks like he's just gonna go for it. He's moving forward, he's trying to get a good position. He is now bringing those Vikings, so we'll be able to siege up and attack onto the high ground. Meanwhile, Polt's just trying to get a good position, and if he does, he needs to wait for siege mode to finish really, and he will be able to pick off just a couple of things there. And it looks like Polt's just gonna go and try and kill Keen. And that's one way of going about it. If you can't take out their position, just base race them. And I mean, that could be what is about to happen. Now these auto turrets are doing a lot of damage, SCVs are being pulled to try and repair, and it does, I don't even think Keen is aware Polt has moved out, but he will now see and can just move straight up. Get a great position, and really this is going to be a base race, and really there's just this one tank here, all the SCVs moving forward, trying just to soak up the damage, preventing the tank from taking any. A second tank up there as well, and really Keen's in a great spot here, and I'm amazed that Polt is only just sieging up now. I mean, there's 2 tanks left, the SCVs are getting completely slaughtered, but I mean, I don't actually think Polt can move forward, and Keen is doing a great job using the SCVs to pick off the tank, and I mean, to be honest, look, Keen is in Polt's base, he is killing stuff left, right and centre, he's got 2 tanks there. That Banshee though is coming back for Polt to try and deal with those tanks, and to be honest, I think Keen has won this now. I don't actually think there's much that can go on really in Polt's favour. Those Marines will get cleaned up, and look at how many SCVs have been killed. It's now 10 SCVs to 30. This is all but over. Even if somehow Polt does hold this off, he just won't have the income. And he does manage to hold it off and pick off everything, but I honestly do not see him being able to pull this back. It's flat out impossible at this stage. 12 SCVs to 34, he is so far behind economically, he's lost a lot of his production, he's got no factories left, I don't believe, when really none of the production of Keen was affected by Polt's push. It was an understandable move, trying to move forward, and a Banshee coming in, picking off just a couple more Marines there, and Keen's Banshee will eventually go down, but everything Polt loses at this stage is huge, because I mean, really he's just so far behind economically. Look at this difference, 14 to 36. And both players producing 2 SCVs at a time. And I can hear something going on. There was a Banshee somewhere. I'm sure I heard it. And Keen is now just moving out, and obviously with those tanks he's in a great spot. The medevacs will help, but obviously not against sieged up tanks. The Marines will just get slaughtered. They'd have to have amazing spread. There's also Marines for Keen. It's 17 to 20 Marines. No, Keen's got more Marines, he's got tanks, and really he's just going to win. And here he goes, just moving forward, not even sieging the tanks up at the moment. So that was an unusual. Well, can't really blame him, he just wants to keep moving forward. By the time he sieged up, the Marines could have pulled back, and Polt is pretty much at half the supply of Keen right now, which is not good at all. Meanwhile, we have got, there was a Banshee harassing, but it got taken out. Meanwhile, look at all those Marines get taken out. Huge siege tank hit, and there is the GG. So game 1 does go to Keen. Tune in for game 2. If you like this, thumbs up, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.